in bits, let's say, that since football restarted. But today was just a complete performance from Leicester City. And on top of that, a 3-0 win. And on top of that, Jamie Vardy at the double, fantastic. So what else can you say? A really good performance. That final ball we were all talking about that it's gone missing slightly. Well, it wasn't missing today. Fantastic football all round. Yes, there was a little bit of help from Sacco in the Crystal Palace defence, but, you know, hey-ho, no one can deny Leicester City that result today.
Emil Heskey, are you free for every single match day for City on the sofa? You appear to have brought some good luck today.
Lucky omen.
TC's gone now.
Yeah, I think it was a great performance from the lads, to be fair. But again, we've seen that before. We've seen the performance. We've seen them shade possession because this is the way Brendan Rodgers wants us to play. But you have to be clinical, and they were clinical today. Albeit a little bit of luck, obviously with a slip from Sacco, who scored, who put it on, who then got it put on a plate for Vardy. But then you're getting into position, Tielemans crossing the ball for Iheanacho, great cross. No defender wants to defend that, and then Vardy getting through there. And I think the goal before helped Vardy in that position because he looked so calm and collected before, whereas other times he's snatched at things. But that was great, great play from him.
Yeah, Walshy, he'll be a very, very happy man, won't he, Jamie Vardy? Goals number 100 and 101 in the Premier League this afternoon.
Yeah, he'll be ecstatic. There's no doubt about that. You could see that in his second goal. It was a formality as far as his finishing, but you know, to do that and get through and actually finish in the manner he did, you know, is a hard skill, and it just shows you he's got exceptional capabilities as Jamie Vardy. And I think there was a lot of pressure on him, and you could see it was mounting. You know, he snatched at a few chances today. Unlike him, there was a Schmeichel one over the top. He'd have either hit that on the volley or buried it. You know, you've seen him do that. There was another one he snatched that. So he just seemed out of sorts for a little while. But sometimes the pressure grows on you. Listen, I think we needed that as a team. I think the team performance was more exceptional than anything today, and it was a much needed 3 points and a sigh of relief for a lot of people at the minute. You know, all those critics and doubters, you know, on social media, I'm sick of seeing things at the minute. This is a progress with this team, and you know, like I say, you've got a lot of young players in that team, and you know, your performances levels will dip at times, and they have done, and you can just see that they've got it. We discussed it earlier, that a team that scores so many goals in so long into the season and suddenly dries up, they've got it. It's not just going to go away from them, and they stuck by the principles, the ways, and worked hard, and that's what you get from pure, you know, graft and hard work and great team management, really. And you look at the shape, I think that will be used again. There's no doubt about that shape of the team. It was impressive. You know, you look at you know, your next starting line, you think that Ben Chilwell might be under pressure now to get back in, because that looked secure, it looked strong, it looked as much a threat that I've seen, especially in that second half. But great, it just shows you the strength and depth of the players that we've got. And that was clinical. It was great to see and much needed for everybody at the club.
Yeah, smiles all round here in the studio on City on the Sofa. I'm sure it's smiles all round at home. It's the first time that we've had a victory since we've done the show, so do send in your pictures, your tweets and your thoughts after that. I know a number of you already have. We can take a look at some of the pictures that have been sent in to us here on City on the Sofa. Jane says, Jamie Vardy, yay, 100 goals. So glad you finally got your mojo back. Jenna says, that's the one we've all been waiting for, our greatest of all time. Fantastic, Mr. Fox does it again. Congratulations, Jamie Vardy. LCFC Away Day says that's 100 Premier League goals for Jamie Vardy. What a player, Jerry. Just as we watch all these run through, you see the likes of the Away Days accounts, all of these people, these Leicester fans, so happy for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, Walshy alluded to some, so he's been loyal to the club. He stuck by the club has stuck by him, and it just seems like Jamie Vardy and Leicester City are the perfect match. And time again, he comes up with the goods. And again, I'll go back to what Walshy said. You can't keep someone like Jamie Vardy out of the headlines for too long. He's too good a player. He's too good of a goal scorer to keep him out for too long. And today, he just showed that class.
Yeah, that was a lovely gift to end it on, seeing those pictures and videos in Jamie Vardy's Eagle celebration, of course, against Crystal Palace earlier in the season. He's then scored another 2 goals against Crystal Palace here at King Power Stadium for his 100th Premier League goal. Emil, all of those tweets really about Jamie Vardy, of course, because it is his day, getting that 100th Premier League goal. You'll know what it was like for yourself. Obviously, well, you said you didn't realise you were on 99, but to reach 100, it's such a landmark in the top flight, and what an incredible achievement.
Yeah, you know, it's a wonderful achievement, personal achievement. Obviously, getting to that 100 goals. You know, I think there's only several players. Was it 15 probably players who actually done it? So it's nice to actually finally for himself to get to there, so he can now relax. He can now chill, not chill, but now he can actually look at the Golden Boot and really cement himself for the Golden Boot. And like Walshy said, maybe for the Golden Shoe as well.
I'll tell you what a season when you look from the start already. You know, it's a bizarre season, in really when you look at it, Jerry. You know, there's been so many milestones we've hit. You know, and yet it's COVID has obviously upset everything. But you know, the 9-0 that we had at Southampton, and you know, it's just unbelievable what records that we seem to beat. And Jamie Vardy's always part of that. He seems to have broke that many records. He's going to be, you know, one of the best legends ever that's been walked in this club. You know, through what he's done for this club, it's just so special. So it's just great. But what a bizarre season! It really is a weird season. It's not over. Still a lot to play for, and it's great. It's great to be sat here, you know, and commentating. I must admit, I've been getting worried like every fan has, but I've still never lost that belief. I've not lost that belief that we could put a performance in like that. And, you know, totally dominated. Did they have one shot at goal? I don't know if they did, Palace, but still, no, brilliant performance.
Well, there was that one good save from Kasper Schmeichel from the Cahill header. It's the only one I can really remember. But, Jerry, this going forward from a Leicester point of view is so encouraging, and it must give so much confidence back to the fans as well, and particularly Jamie Vardy. We know he scores in streaks. Now, we're not obviously promising anything or guaranteeing anything, but it's the kind of thing that you will see now in these remaining games. You might see Jamie Vardy continuing on a little bit of a scoring run, and you saw what that goal did to him, that his movement for his second one. Yeah, no, absolutely, and any striker will tell you that, you know, when you're paid to score goals and you don't do it, then it plays on your mind, and it will have done, and you could see the relief when his 100th Premier League goal went in. The second goal was taken like a player who was on 20 goals a season. You know, it was just sheer class Jamie Vardy. Typical Jamie Vardy breaking away. We've got 2 tough away games coming up. So that is just the fillet that the boys need to go and get a couple of results away from home. You know, I can't underestimate how massive a result today was. It really was. It was a must-win game, and they produced the goods. Hopefully that will set them up for these 2 tough away games coming up. But that man up front, they're giving themselves the best opportunity, especially when he's in goal-scoring form. And besides that, a word for Kelechi and Nacho, 2 and 2. So Brendan Rodgers will be sat there going, both my centre forwards have scored today. Jamie Vardy's reached 100 Premier League goals. Kelechi and Nacho, 2 and 2. Things are looking up. Yeah, Jerry referenced there that the next game's coming up. We can take a look at the next 3 fixtures for Leicester City. In the Premier League, it starts obviously with those tough 2 away games that Jerry Taggart's been talking about. Arsenal, obviously, Tuesday, then Bournemouth on Sunday. So, Jerry, just on those fixtures coming up for Leicester, they'll take so much confidence, won't they, from that win today?
You've no idea. You really have no idea, Dan, what that result has done for everybody. Yes, we have to regroup quickly, but for tonight, let's all enjoy, you know, a win at last. And then tomorrow, on Monday, and then on Tuesday afternoon, the focus obviously turns to a really big match against Arsenal. You know, who obviously they're playing a bit later, but let's just enjoy today. Big sigh of relief for everybody, and then we regroup, because we've got some tough games coming up. We've got the chasing pack hot on our heels, but some of that pressure's been released, and it gives us time now to sit back and enjoy a really positive performance, a really positive result. You know, a dominating performance and a dominating result. You know, no one could think that 3-0 was overestimated or it didn't tell the whole story. 3-0 was the right result today.
Yeah, from those 3 fixtures, Walshy, that are on screen right now, what do you hope and expect Leicester
Well,
return?
9 points, of course, Dan. You know, the 3 games, and I think we're a better team than all 3 of them looking at them now. And I say that with, you know, we are, but they've got to go and make it happen, don't get me wrong, but they're all winnable games. When I look at that, you know, it's a hard run in, yet they are all winnable games for me. And you play like you did today, and you'll be too good for Sheffield United, Bournemouth, Arsenal. You will be. Like I say, there was 10 players today who played at more or less, you know, at one of the highest levels I've seen them play this season. Take Casper out of it because he had nothing to do. So it's terrific, really, when you look at that from, you know, them frustrations that we've had. We've been knocking on the door. Don't get me wrong, they've not been playing badly at all. Just little things have been going wrong for us, and it connected today. So so them 3 games, you've got to look that we can beat them on our day, and take one game at a time. The next game's Arsenal, so we've got to gear ourselves up for, you know, for beating Arsenal. So it's going to be, you know, it's down in London, no crowd, but listen, we're capable, and you know, I just feel a good vibe again.
Yeah, I mean, Emil, that win, how much weight do you think it's lifted off people's shoulders, off Leicester's shoulders, and just given them that confidence then going into these final 5 games?
I think it's lifted a lot of weight off the shoulders. At the end of the day, it's the thing that everyone was talking about. You know, since football came back, Leicester haven't really done well. Leicester haven't really scored that many goals. Leicester this, Leicester that. And now just to get that win over the line, that 3 points, Vardy to get his goal, now you can just concentrate now on going forward. I think Walshy's right. Going to the next game, you're talking about Arsenal away. Generally, when you're talking about Arsenal away, you're thinking going to a very, very tough ground, a team that plays some really exciting forward-thinking football. You're not going to that sort of Arsenal. You're going up to a team who's under pressure themselves, under a lot of pressure, not playing the best of football. Got a relatively inexperienced manager, and if you can put the pressure on them, I can't see that. I don't see how they actually react. Sometimes they don't know how to react. So it's probably a good time to play Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going into the next game, they've got to be fairly confident. Jamie Vardy's suddenly got his 100th goal, and he can relax. The team have got their the win that they wanted, so they can relax as well. So yeah, you know, it's a good time to be going into these next few games.
Absolutely, and it's about the way that teams react, isn't it, Jerry? As Emil's been saying there, and Leicester, the way they've reacted to what happened at Everton on was it Tuesday, on Wednesday, and then the way they've reacted to what's been said in the press and what people have been saying about them in these last few days leading into this game has been brilliant. To just turn around and win 3-0 at home like that is such a good response.
Yeah, I think what it shows first and foremost, what a strong dressing room there is here at Leicester City, because of, you know, the frustration, I would say, more than anything. It hasn't been about, you take the Brighton game aside, where everyone's expecting Leicester to win that game and they didn't. Okay, but in the other games, I think the performances have been decent. I really do. The results haven't followed that. Today was complete and utter control of the game from start to finish. And that shows you what a strong dressing room Brendan Rodgers has there. And so that will only breed confidence. There will be no fear. Emil's already touched on it. There'll be no fear going to Arsenal. Arsenal, I'm not saying they're at 6s and 7s, but he's right, you know, when they're put on the back foot, Arsenal, especially in these modern days of football, they don't know how to react the right way. And that's what Leicester have to focus on, is putting Arsenal under pressure, putting them on the back foot. Let's see how they react to our style of football. And if they do that, then they're more than capable of getting a result. And yes, one game at a time, lots of football to be played. But today's result surely will give them the confidence to go into that game on Tuesday night feeling positive about getting a result.
As ever, we want you guys at home to interact with us here on City on the Sofa. All you need to do is use the hashtag LCFC or hashtag then now again. That's exactly what these guys have done. They've got in touch with the show here. Josh says, amazing win for LCFC. I thought we looked much better with a back 3/5, more comfortable on the ball and better build-up play. We can do it. Hashtag Champions League. Matthew says, teamwork wins matches. Well done, you mighty Foxes. Now it's time to focus on Tuesday and another 3 points. Walshy, that is an important point, isn't it? That this game is done now. This win is done. All the focus is on Tuesday and getting another win.
Of course it is. As a professional footballer, that's how you look at things. And, you know, you've just got to gear yourself up for the next game, get yourself rested. You know, it's a difficult situation with playing 3 games in a week, every week at the moment till the end of the season, you know. So, fortunately, there's only a few weeks left, but they've just got to keep going now, build on that, and the confidence, hopefully. You know, it's a tricky game always going down to Arsenal. We've not had best of results over the years, I guess, away in London at Arsenal. But hey, we're 12 points in front of Arsenal at the minute. We're 13 points in front of Spurs. You know, it's incredible. So, you know, they're going to be worried about us not worried about Arsenal. We can go there with some freedom and know that, you know, if we get a win there, we're teeing up then 2 games that you'd be really fancy us to win after that. So, you know, the stage is set, but you've got to get over the line, and it's the hardest part is doing that.
There's so many individual performances out there, Jerry, today that you can highlight. You were very impressed with Jose Perez, particularly at the beginning of that second half. Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy, when both your strikers who are on the pitch score goals, that's a fantastic thing. But Harvey Barnes, off the bench, what a performance that was with the 2 assists, and I think he was only on the pitch about 2 minutes, wasn't he, before he set up that Jamie Vardy goal? Yeah,
absolutely. Again, great management, great, you know, yet again, Brendan Rodgers making substitutions at the right time, the substitutes coming on and playing their part. How many times have we seen that happen this season? Where Brendan makes a substitution, the sub comes on and either scores or creates. And Harvey Barnes has been phenomenal for me. This is his first full season in professional football, and I think he's had a phenomenal season. He's still a young lad. He's still working on his game management. He's still got a couple of things to learn, but his enthusiasm and his raw pace, you know, and he wants to hurt teams. He wants to get in behind. He wants to stretch the game, and if he continues to do that and learn, just rounds his game off slightly, then you've got a real player in the making. You really have, and you know, everybody at the club's over the moon for Harvey, and they just want to see him do really well. And he's had a few issues lately with his final ball and whatever else, but today just shows the real true potential of this guy.
And Emile Heskey, you came through obviously the academy here at Leicester City. Harvey Barnes has made that exact journey, and you saw him coming on today, and you wanted to see something from him. You were excited to see him in that central position, and he repaid that with the 2 assists, as we've been saying.
At times, you know, when you see him starting a game, you wonder if the game's too much for him. But when you bring him on as a sub, you know he's going to have an impact. Especially young lads when they're full of pace and they're full of energy like he has. He was wonderful coming on today because, again, you want someone to come on and make an impact. You want them to be in the right frame of mind and know that they've got to come on and do something, not just come on and just be another number in that starting 11. Be coming on and doing something, and that's what we challenged him to do, and that's what he did, to be honest with you.
And Walshy, we've talked a lot, haven't we, about the wide players at Leicester City this season and how none of them really have been able to stake a claim week in, week out for their positions. So we see a lot of their performances and a lot of their good performances are from the bench, whether it's Damari Gray or Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, it shows that the managers, he can identify when, you know, someone needs the pressure taken off him, a young lad like Harvey, where you can have a few good games, then you can have a little bit of an off game, which I think in the last couple of games he wasn't you know, at the top of his game. And so you look at it and he knows and can identify that, and that's you know, takes a good manager. But you know, for going forward for the future, it's great. And like I said to you before, Harvey, Muzzy likes him. You know, when Muzzy said to me he's better in that position, I know he is because I've trained with him and played him, you know, in games there. So it was a position that he knows well, and you can see he's got what it takes as Harvey, and he's still learning the game. So onwards and upwards, you know, with us at the moment.
Well, let's hear from the man himself then. Harvey Barnes has been speaking after this fantastic win.
Harvey, congratulations, back on the winning trail. Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think a little sigh of relief. Getting that first win out of the way was massive for us. We know now we've got 5 important games to come. I think this is just a stepping stone in the right direction. Hopefully we can continue from this.
We have to get on to Jamie Vardy pretty quickly. 100 Premier League goals, it's a phenomenal achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think we spoke about in there, you know, for him to come into the game as late as he has and go on to get such an achievement is it's credit to him. And obviously, for me, it was great to assist him for the 100th. It's nice.
I was going to say, I presume you all presumed it was going to come at some stage, but he's been waiting a little bit because of the break in action. He must be delighted himself. Yeah,
definitely. I think you can see him there. He's delighted with it. I don't think it was a matter of if, it was going to be a matter of when it was going to come, because we know how many goals he can score. He's shown that this season. I think tonight he showed how important he is for us.
Came off the bench and had a big impact. Changed the system today. How did you think, not just yourself, but the whole team adapted to that?
Yeah, I think today was showing how versatile the team is. Now we can adapt to different systems and continue the game plan. Today, obviously, come off the bench and made a positive impact, which I'm happy with. But I think today was just about getting 3 points and getting back on the right track.
Crystal Palace is always a tough game. Was patience important?
Definitely. I think we spoke about it yesterday. We know that they're tough opponents and it wasn't going to be easy for us. They've shown that in the first half. Even though we're playing some nice football, we couldn't quite break them down. And then second half, we're showing that when we are on it and we're clinical in front of goal, we'll go and put a few past them. And
what will this now do for the confidence for the next 5 games and that tilt at a Champions League place?
I think it'll be massive. I think getting that first win on the board was massive for us, and then take it from there. At the minute, it's got to take each game as it comes, and can't think too far ahead. But yeah, definitely a positive way forward for us.
Very happy Harvey Barnes, clearly speaking after this win at King Power Stadium this afternoon. If you're just joining us, it finished Leicester 3, Crystal Palace 0, and Jamie Vardy scored his 100th Premier League goal. And there was a nice smile, wasn't there, Jerry Taggart, from Harvey Barnes there. He referenced it himself. He said it was nice for Jamie to get that 100th goal and nice for him to assist it as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just a point I was trying to make before we went to Harvey's interview, it just shows you the importance, again, in the modern game of your substitutes when they do come on. In days gone by, when us 3 played, if you were on the subs bench, it was basically a way of saying, I don't want you. You're not good enough for the team, so you're going on the bench. But today, in the modern game, it's just as vital when you're a substitute and you come onto the pitch that you play your role. And Harvey Barnes has just, exemplified that really in his performance today, setting that goal up for Jamie. So I'm sure Jamie will be giving him a big hug and a few more pleasantries in the dressing room out of prying eyes. But just a fantastic moment all round.
Well, that was the moment, Emile, when he scored. We were debating pre-game whether Vardy would have a particular celebration to celebrate that 100th goal, but really he just thanked Harvey Barnes straight away, because in that position you wouldn't have blamed Harvey maybe for having a shot. He was in on goal, wasn't he, with the goalkeeper, but he did the unselfish thing and he laid it on for Jamie Vardy.
I would have blamed him, yeah, if he'd have done that, because it was so obvious to play it to Jamie Vardy. But again, yeah, Jamie Vardy, I think he's obviously just relieved more than anything, just to get that weight off his shoulders, because again, when you're going into that second chance that he had, you never know if he hadn't have already scored with the pressure of being on, bearing down the goalkeeper 1v1. It made that very easy, the second one. But again, if he hadn't scored the first one, would that have been a difficult chance for him in the end? But again, he was just so relaxed in the second chance. He just did what we're so used to him doing.
You knew, didn't you, Walshy, when he was through on goal, that he was scoring again. That's Jamie Vardy, and that's the confidence that he gives you as a fan.
Yeah, of course. I think after after that goal. It certainly, everyone could see the pressure was lifted off his shoulders. But just going back to that first goal, you know, again, top goal scorers like him, they're ready to pounce in positions like that. And you see, you know, a lot of other forwards wouldn't have been ready for that to react, but natural goal scorers do that. And it's just, you know, ready to pounce on something. And there you go, you've made a mistake. But the second goal was for sheer class, you know, the finish and the little dink over the keeper was, you know, it reminds you of the Liverpool days when they started that revolution of dinking the ball over keepers. And it's just, and there's an art and a technique into doing that. So it was great, and you can see now, you know, he's two goals clear of Ings and Aubameyang in the Golden Boot. So it's great for him that. I really want him to win that as well this year. And obviously, you know, we've still got so much to play for. And instead of looking over our shoulders now, we're looking at Man City and saying, oh, how many points are we off them now? You know, which were probably too many. But but it shows you in football how it can change and swing. You know, this certainly does. And we don't do things Leicester City by halves. You know, it's always fun and games, but it's serious stuff. And you know, we've got a lot to do. You know, we've not done it yet. There's no way. They've got 5 games left, and it's going to be a tough ask. But you know, it's going the right direction today.
You referenced it when the goal went in, Jerry. That second of Jamie Vardy's was pretty much an identical replica of his goal at the Etihad, wasn't it? A Harvey Barnes ball around the corner, Vardy from that left-hand side running in and just dinking it over the goalkeeper. Yeah, it was
Classic Leicester City counter-attacking football, and we've seen it time and time and time again. And again, it's a ploy that, you know, Leicester don't use as often as they have done in the past, but one that when they need it, it has that still full effect. And again, we've seen it today right to death. Palace putting us under a bit of pressure. Leicester pick the ball up. Bang, bang, goal. Fantastic.
And it's exactly what Leicester did with you, Emile, wasn't it? That Leicester played to your strengths as a striker. We've seen down the years, Jamie Vardy wouldn't have got 100 Premier League goals if the club didn't play to his strengths.
Yeah, look, I think playing to Jamie Vardy's strengths is key. At the end of the day, he's the one scoring the goals, so you got to play to his strengths. So again, it come later on in the game once the game's opened up where you get actual spaces. If you look in the first half, there wasn't really them spaces to actually get in behind and really hurt them. The spaces were on the wing and crossing the ball, as you see from the first goal. But then, obviously, as the game gets a little bit stretched, you start to get them spaces over the top, and that's how Jamie Vardy got his space. It was baffling that he actually had that much space anyway to run in on goal. But you know, when you're chasing the game, sometimes you throw caution to the wind.
The curvature of his run was brilliant, wasn't it, Emile? Because there was no defenders really near him. He just had to make sure that he stayed in the Leicester half. But obviously, he needed momentum to be running forward. He was almost running backwards, wasn't he, at the beginning of the run?
I actually thought he was offside, but then obviously when you watch it back, he's been very clever. He's ran back into his own half and come back into their half just in time. So he's onside. And then it's about your touches. You got to make sure you have a couple of good touches, keep the ball out in front of you, because again, Saka was chasing him down, but he was never going to catch him. And then it's whether you're calm enough to finish. And he showed that time and time again that he's very clinical when it comes to that.
Well, you'll be a good man to answer this. When you throw on goal as a striker, it must be quite difficult, because you'd rather maybe have an instinctive effort where the ball comes in and you don't have any time to think about it, you just finish. But that one there, he's got a lot to think about. Does he dink it? Does he slide it under the keeper's legs? Does he go around him?
That's the toughest ones, aren't they? When you've got a ball dropping in the box and you've just got to instinctively just get a good... What you do is you just get a good connection on it and make sure you keep it down. That's the ones when they're dropping in and around the box. Either if it's a touch and finish or the first time finish, it's just about getting a really good connection on it. These ones, when you've got too much time to think, sometimes you're thinking, do I need to go around him? Do I need to dink him? Do I put it through his leg? Do I put it down the side? I think Jamie Vardy's made up his mind very early what he's actually doing. He's had 1, 2, 3 touches, knows that the goalkeeper's going to come out of him and he's just going to dink it over him. I think he's made up his mind very early because he was very confident.
Well, let's hear from the man of the moment now. This is Jamie Vardy speaking after the game.
Jamie, congratulations, another great moment in a Leicester shirt, 100 Premier League goals. How does it feel? 101 Premier League goals.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm over the moon, but we're all about getting the performance right today and picking up the 3 points.
It's probably one of the easiest goals that you've scored in your long Leicester City career. What were you thinking when you knew the chance was going to come and therefore you knew the moment was going to come?
Yeah, the first one with Barnes, I mean, their centre-half slipped, Barnes is nicked in and he could have shot and he's decided to square it and basically left me an open net. So, yeah, credit to Barnes for getting me in there. And then the second one, I've managed to out my run. Barnes has played me through again, and obviously I always back myself to score when I'm in that situation.
Someone had told you when you joined Leicester that you would join the 100 club in the Premier League. Would you ever have believed them?
No, not all. Not all. No, it's one of the things you obviously want to score as many goals as possible, but I'm also one of them players that first and foremost it's all about picking up the points to the team, so it doesn't matter who scores the goals, but luckily for me today it was me that got them.
What was the difference today? Because that looked like the Leicester of old. You were sharp as a whole team. Was there anything in particular? There was a change of formation, of course.
No, we just thought as last two games, one of them first half we were great, second half not so good, and then the next game after it was the opposite way. So we just wanted to try and blend both halves together, get a full 90-minute performance, and I think from what you've seen today, that's exactly what's happened. And
it could be a huge win in the race for a Champions League place, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be, but at the end of the day, we know it's all down to us. We're not having to rely on anyone else, so we'll get back, recover, train and look forward to the game on Tuesday.
And of course it's Arsenal next, a chance to score many more goals, which I imagine now is the plan, having reached 100.
Yeah, like I said, as a striker you want to score as many goals as possible, but first and foremost it's all about the team, so we'll make sure we've recovered right, trained right, prepared right, and get into the game on Tuesday and hopefully get 3 points.
Jamie Vardy there speaking to LCFC TV after his fantastic day at the office here at King Power Stadium. Just final thoughts from you, Emile. Thank you for joining us here on City on the Sofa. We hope you enjoyed your debut here and you certainly brought us that look that we needed.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And now it's been it's great being on it. It's great watching the game, and it's even better when they win. So hopefully you have me back again soon and I can bring a bit of luck as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Emile. Walshy, there's a smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Zaki's birthday. He's just made his birthday, so happy birthday, Zaki.
Yeah, fantastic.
And Jerry, happy birthday, Zaki.
There we go. And Jerry, obviously, it's nice to get that 3 points back and the winning feeling here at King Power Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, everything's back on track now. Yes, we've got a tough run in, it has to be said, but I think that win today, you know, just takes a bit of pressure off. And it takes it off us and puts it back on the chasing pack. Couldn't be better.
Excellent. Yes, it's finished Leicester 3, Crystal Palace 0. Big thanks to Emile Heskey, to Steve Walsh and to Jerry Taggart. And of course to you guys at home for sending in all of your tweets and messages. So thanks for those. We'll be back again on Tuesday at 7:15 for the game away at Arsenal. But from here at King Power Stadium, it's all about one man, and that man is Jamie Vardy. Thank you very much. Goodbye.